Welcome. This is the Public Works Podcast. My name is Joseph Blackman. Today, I got a real treat for you. Her name is Jessica Gonzalez, and she is the training coordinator for the City of Houston Public Works in the beautiful state of Texas. We're also going to talk about her being the creator of BrandingClip. But Jessica, say what's up to everybody.
Hi, good afternoon, and hello. My name is Jessica Gonzalez. I'm
All
a
right.
training coordinator here at Houston Public Works.
So we're definitely going to dive into that. Training coordinator, like it's a vague term, right? We all know what training is. We all know what coordination is. But talk us through what an average day is like for Jessica as a training coordinator.
Absolutely, Joseph. So being here at the City of Houston as a training coordinator is basically you're going to be creating a curriculum for the Leadership LEAP Academy, which stands for Leadership Employee Advancement Program. I have that wonderful opportunity to be the program manager, which is a 4-month program for Houston Public Work employees to get in and be able to learn soft skills, their core competencies, to be able to communicate effectively, and also to be able to manage your team successfully. So that's a little bit about the LEAP program. I have 2 cohorts for 2024 that I look forward to putting together with the U of H consultants. So that's a very exciting time for the Learning and Development Department.
Sure.
Also, I have another program called the New Employee Orientation where I welcome everybody virtually. And I enjoy that program because I'm the face of City of Houston Public Works. I'm able to welcome everyone and basically make sure that they're compliant on their trainings before coming in, and just basically giving them a big overview of all of our departments, including
Sure.
our
And
warm welcome from our director.
I like that because it's a process. You hire somebody new, they have to go through a program versus like you start, you got to figure out where the bathroom is and like how to take a time off and like who's your boss and who's your coworkers. Like we all know how that goes at new jobs. So talk us through what that what that orientation is like. Is it a room full of 500 people and there's like cookies on the table and there's, everybody's getting up and clapping and dancing, or what's that, initial foray into the city like?
Well, that's an excellent question, Joseph. For new hires, what they do is they come into Microsoft Teams, they come in all hyped up, ready to go, and they get to learn about our culture mechanic, Mr. Ray Belton. He has his team, and he basically shines and thrives throughout the first 3 hours of the program, talks about his Thrive culture. And then we go into our COO, Mr. Randy Mackay, and he talks about a little bit about the culture as well. And he also gives best practices. We do have our director who comes on live every new employee orientation, Director Carol Haddock, and she loves to warm welcome everyone live from anywhere she is. We did have one episode where she was live from across the world in New Zealand. So it's
Wow.
very interesting with our director, and our new hires really do enjoy seeing our director live and being able to have that warm welcome experience.
Sure. And then
Now,
you talked about
new employee orientation is 2 days here at the City of Houston. So we also deep dive into our HR safety department. They do their safety presentation, and then we also have our security department that goes over security. So these are just some of the things that we have in the employee orientation. And then I also have a special section called Open Mic, where I make every new hire that comes in bring something creative and do something talented in order for us to see our diversity on camera and be able to see what other things we do besides work. So that's how I break the
that's
ice.
cool. What are some examples of like a talent or things that you've seen people have done?
Well, that's an excellent question. Again, we had some new hires play the bass, and we've had to guess the song. So he won open mic. We've also had some people show pictures of the city with the drone. So that was a very unique one. I had a very talented magician do a lot of tricks on camera where he made coins disappear, which was it's something very unique talent. So I always welcome everybody to open mic and to bring their creativity. And then last but not least, I did have a duo. I've had people sing God Bless America. I've had art, people bring in their art and also their side business. I've had people create, they do custom pools and they like to show that. So, we've had all sorts of different ranges of talent here at the city. So I enjoy that part of open mic. It's something unique that I brought to the employee orientation, and I enjoy that I brought that uniqueness to the program.
Yeah, there's nothing better than being able to talk about what you're passionate outside of work, at work. 'Cause then it makes you feel like, they care.
Yes,
Pretty cool.
absolutely.
The one thing you touched on in your previous answer about the training side was soft skills. So talk about the importance. We know hard skills, you got to know X, Y, and Z, but the soft skills, the things that aren't really taught high school, college, but they help you navigate your professional career. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So soft skills, one of the things that we're looking for is for leadership skills. That's something that we highly need in all of our service lines. We need leaders that know how to communicate effectively. We need leaders that know how to manage a team. We need leaders that show empathy and also deliver a great experience to their team and make it a environment where it's not toxic and just happy to come to work every single day. So in the LEAP Academy, that's what we do. We make sure that these supervisors that are transitioning into managers, they learn all these core competencies in this 4-month program. And not only do they learn it, but they also have a final project and a branding clip where they learn, where they use everything that they've learned, and then they deliver an effective final presentation to our leadership.
Nice, nice. You talked about BrandingClip. Go into what that is, and then also the backstory of why you created something like that.
Yeah, so BrandingClip, I created it in March of 2022 at Houston Community College with students that were seeking, who had a problem, and I found a solution for them. Their problem was they couldn't get into their field of their choice because they didn't have the experience. And with that being said, I created Resume TikTok that turned into BrandingClip this year, April of 2023. I rebranded it since TikTok was no longer valid here in the government or in universities or in community colleges. So it went through a rebrand and name and also platform. And now a lot of the elite participants come in and they do a branding clip, which is a 60-second elevator pitch of why they're the ideal candidate for the position. So with that being said, they come in, they're nervous at first to do a branding clip, but after the LEAP program, they feel very confident to be able to communicate effectively, state their top 3 core competencies, use their hand gestures to show, that they are confident and powerful to be able to get that dream job. So
that's cool. And talk about the importance of how getting your point across in 30, 60 seconds versus having to have an hour-long interview, and being able to set yourself apart by doing that in short clips versus into getting into you to that interview.
Absolutely. Well, the main platform that I use for branding clip is LinkedIn. It's a professional website where you can actually add your branding clip to the feature section, which is the most important section on LinkedIn, because not all these hiring managers or recruiters have all the time in the world to look at your profile. So you want to make sure that you put your branding clip on the top. That way they can see it, they can see you. You will shine, and you will definitely tell the world your top 3 core competencies and how you're going to make a difference in their organization with your leadership skills. Another thing that you can do is make sure that your Your LinkedIn is looks very professional. You have credibility. Your recommendations are very important, which is one of the things that a lot of people miss. And that I like to definitely educate all the participants in the Leap Academy. And I also let them know that since they're a part of such a special cohort, they need to make sure that they network, they continue to help each other. And that's what we have seen in the first cohort, that they help each other get promoted within City of Houston Public Works. So that's a very huge and very good accomplishment.
Yeah, you got such a wealth of knowledge. Like, you know a lot about things that are important in this generation, this day and age. Give us Jessica's backstory. Like, what were you doing fresh out of high school to lead you up to the position and to the skill set and knowledge base of what you're at today?
Well, believe it or not, Joseph, I graduated in 2009 from University of Houston in business management. I deep dived into the wireless industry. I worked 9 years at Verizon. I was in the retail leadership development program. I became their apprentice. I was into a fast track management program, which led me to be a manager for 9 different stores here in the Houston area. I discovered my passion during the wireless workshops for our customers. At the time, I would teach the customers how to use their smartphones, how to use the navigation system, how to download apps. And that's where I discovered my passion. My passion was to become a trainer. And then I took advantage of the tuition reimbursement program with EdAssist, and I got my master's degree. I was the only student in my cohort at U of H at the time that didn't have an HR position, but I managed to get into HR, even though a lot of my employees at the time was telling me I didn't have the experience. But I was able to overcome that challenge by not giving up on pursuing my dream job. And I finally, after 2018, I left Verizon. I got into different companies afterwards, and it led me to ACC. And that's where I discovered, my passion was training, and that's where I created BrandingClip, and I allow those students to shine. And I became very well known with the career fairs, helping students. And I was brought in here June 2022. So now I'm able to assist the employees shine here, as well as anybody that actually reaches out to me on LinkedIn as well. So that's
cool.
that's my story in a nutshell, Joseph. But I'm very passionate about what I do. I really do take the time with all the participants to make sure that their LinkedIn is branded. A lot of people don't know that the website gives you a default number after you create your URL. So I always try to tell people, make it yours, personal brand yourself to whatever proficient job title you may want to be known for. Put it on your professional resume. And then finally, your professional resume has a QR code on the top upper right-hand side is what that's part of my BrandingClip project. And I make sure that they put their BrandingClip on that professional resume. And they use it after an interview for government or for any position, they won't forget who they interviewed. So that's a little bit about my project.
Love it. Love it. Let's say young Jessica asked you today, 18, 15-year-old Jessica is like, what skill set should I pick up along the way to be good at exactly what you're doing today? What would that skill set be?
Wow. I would definitely tell the young generation is to make sure that they learn a lot about project management, how to stay organized, how to communicate effectively, for sure, is a great core competency to have. And then leadership skills. You want to make sure that you lead in all your projects, and to definitely join professional organizations along their journey. That way they can learn how to be a leader. That's what I would definitely the youth generation, to definitely stay always in the know, because adult learning is continuous. So continue to always invest in yourself professionally.
Sure. And you say professional organizations, do you mean like associations and those types of groups where you're around your peers in your same industry? And can you talk about the importance of getting around people who are, I guess, dealing and fighting the same battles you're fighting day in and day out, and being able to collaborate and network?
Yes, absolutely. Networking is key. Like I mentioned before, anywhere you go, you want to make sure you have your QR code ready and bring people onto your network. Because at the end of the day, it's all about who you know and who wants to give you the next opportunity. And that's what I leave everybody with. Also, you want to make sure that you pay it forward. Anything that you can do to assist somebody, do it, and do it with a good heart. Pay it forward and don't expect anything in return, because that's something very good to have. As well as organizations, I would say I've been a part of SHRM. I used to be a community service officer for the Society of Human Resource Management. I've also am a member of the ATD, which is the Academy for Training. So that's also a very good organization to be a part of. And then last but not least, Texas CEIA. I'm current on the board as a vice president, and I like to, in that organization, I help students get internships. So always stay in professional organizations. And last but not least, I'm also a part of the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. So I'm also a volunteer and member for that organization that is about to come up in February. So I'll be busy. And the Chuck Wagon Committee is the one I'm in.
Sure. What's Jessica's personal, even professional development regimen like? Like, how do you keep showing up better and better year after year, day after day? Like, what do you do intentionally to keep showing up better?
Wow. I listen to positive affirmations every morning when I wake up. I like my favorite motivational speaker is going to be Simon Sinek and also Eric Thomas. Those two are my top two go-to for motivation. I recently have Miss Sonia Gonzalez Boysen. She is also a speaker, and I just got my certification through her for influencer for communication. That I took her courses virtually. So my best recommendations: always continue to professionally develop yourself. Always be doing LinkedIn Learning, because there's a lot of courses on LinkedIn Learning that you can learn different things that you may not be good at. For example, leadership skills, communication skills, negotiation skills, a lot of different core competencies that you can gain knowledge on LinkedIn Learning. And also universities, right? If you don't have your bachelor's, get your bachelor's. If you don't have your master's, go for your master's. Always keep aiming towards the top. If you don't have your doctorate, so you want to do that. But always continue to network with the people in your circle, because you just never know who the next person is that's going to give you a better opportunity than where you are currently.
That is so true. That's so true. What would you say is one of the biggest misconceptions about your position? Let's say I asked somebody that knew you and I'm like, what does Jessica do for Houston? Like, what does she do for the community? What value does she provide? What would they get totally wrong in answering that question?
A lot of people think I just coordinate things around here, but ideally I have to lift up my sleeves sometimes, and I have to make sure that in our first cohort, if something doesn't go as planned, your plan B, you are that backup facilitator. Even though my role doesn't say facilitator, if at any time one of my consultants or team members don't show up to facilitate, I'm there. I'm definitely have all the skills and have the energy to be able to facilitate in front of a classroom. And it's all about just, sometimes life happens and some people can't make it. So you have to make sure that you are that person to keep the program going and being successful for the employees that are investing their time and energy to learn these core competencies. So definitely, I know that if that were to happen, I am there. Like I tell my boss, I'm there. If somebody doesn't show up, I'm going to be that facilitator, and I'm very confident that I can deliver.
Nice. Since you're the orientation, you're like the first touch of new employees to the city. What have you seen in attracting new, younger talent to this industry, to public works? Like, what have you seen out there that's working to I guess, attract, hire, and then also to retain, those types of, the younger talent. Because again, we know public works, it has a certain mark in regards to pay versus private. And so what has worked out there that you've seen so far?
Okay, yes. So I've seen a lot of advertisement towards the universities, University of Houston. We have a lot of new hires from U of H. We have a lot of new hires from different community colleges around, as well as different universities. We stay on the top, tier for people to come to Houston Public Works by now introducing telework, working hybrid. We normally work a typical week, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. But with hybrid now, we can work 2 days from home. And that definitely brings in a lot of the youth to come to the city of Houston and learn about, our different service lines. And that's how we keep it. Keep the youth coming in. And also I personally like to advertise all my programs on LinkedIn. If you follow me, you'll be able to see all my new employee orientations as well as my LEAP academies. And I like to always recognize all the participants by taking photos and uploading them. So that way my network stays in the know.
Sure, sure. I can tell you're big on LinkedIn, which I've looked at your profile, and it's really buttoned up. Like it's, almost a shining star in regards to, you know, doing LinkedIn right for public works. Why haven't so many other people got the same message or the memo that you have in regards to making sure LinkedIn is good to go so they can be attractive to other employees, or even attractive to hire it, bring in new talent, or just be attractive in regards to saying, hey, this is public works and this is what we do?
Well, after COVID, a lot of everything transitioned from face to face to virtual. So after that happened, a lot of people don't really know how to shift, virtually. But we've gotten a lot of people to come on virtually on Microsoft Teams, and they're able to, do their programs now on MS Teams instead of face to face. And with that being said, a lot of these organizations are doing the interviews now virtual with the panel. So it's important that new hires and candidates that are applying to the city make sure that their LinkedIn is set up properly. Make sure that they have a professional headshot photo. I always like to recommend a banner that shows your personal brand. A lot of candidates just leave it gray, to the default gray that it comes in. But it's very important that a lot of our new hires actually take the time and invest the time into their personal brand, because a lot of these managers are seeking for personalized people to come into their departments that are wanting to be in HRD, that are wanting to be in that specific department. And it's a very competitive field, so it's important that before they even start applying, that they make sure that their page looks top notch with all of their photos, their professional portfolios on there that shows who they are and what they can bring to the organization.
Sure, sure. All right. Let's say you're commissioned to put up a billboard, and this billboard is in the most trafficked area of Houston. What ask of your community, I guess, in regards to HR, public works, would you put on this billboard of your community?
Okay, I would put, let me think about that one. That is actually a very good question, Joseph. To highlight to the community, I would say BrandingClip. Those billboards aren't any very inexpensive, so I would definitely recommend my project. That way they can shine and get their dream job. So getting a 60-second video out of a person is nothing very easy to do. Once you obtain it, it allows that candidate to shine, and then they can use the QR code and put it on their professional resume, and then send it to the hiring manager, for the hiring manager can not forget who that person is, especially in government, because it takes 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, sometimes it may take 4 to 5 months for you to hear back. So by then, a lot of people don't remember who they interviewed. So that QR codes is a diamond, it's a gem, and it'll it'll make the candidate shine. So that would be my billboard. And then in small letters, I would put, continue education. It's very important that adult learning, that you continue to invest in yourself throughout your career.
Sure. Okay. All right. If let's say I'm coming to Houston and I text you ahead of time and I say, Jessica, where can I go to get the best burger in Houston? Where are you going to send me?
I'm going to recommend Southwell Burgers. They're located off of I-10 in Bunker Hill, right behind the Verizon store where I worked at for 5 years, actually. They have very good burgers. They have very good reviews. They're a family-owned business, so definitely recommend their burgers. So give it a try. Let me know how that goes for you.
Good stuff. Well, Jessica, thank you for hopping on the show. Thank you for sharing your wealth of information and knowledge with us. To all the listeners out there, make sure you share this with somebody who you think needs to hear it. Jessica, any final words before we get out of here?
Well, I just want to make sure that everybody just remembers, it's important. Your personal brand is important. Leadership skills is important. Communication skills is very important nowadays. Make sure that you network and shine.
Okay. Good stuff, Jessica. All right. Well, thank you for hopping on the show. This has been the Public Works Podcast, and thank you, everybody, for tuning in.